Donald Trump is heading back to the White House after an historic win in yesterday's U.S. election. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It's a stunning political comeback for Trump and a stinging defeat for Kamala Harris and the Democrats.
Trump is now calling for unity after some dark rhetoric on the campaign trail. But still, it could be an unpredictable 4 years. CTV's Joy Melvin explains.
Celebrating with his family and supporters, even Donald Trump seemed astounded.
It is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
4 years after voters rejected him, impeached twice, convicted of 34 felonies, and indicted over the January 6th Capitol attack, expect all that to go away. His supporters said Trump was best to tackle high prices and immigration, what voters cared most about.
Take over, Elon. Just take over.
One of his biggest boosters, billionaire Elon Musk. For Kamala Harris, who rose to the top of the ticket after President Joe Biden dropped out, it's a stinging defeat. Winning big with women, energizing the Democratic Party, but she struggled to differentiate herself from an unpopular administration in a phone call conceding defeat to Trump.
I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
Donald Trump survived 2 assassination attempts using dark and sometimes violent language to attack Harris and the Democrats. She, in turn, called him a fascist. The new president-elect now telling a divided nation,
It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite.
calling his win the greatest political victory of all time. The only thing for certain, the next few years will be unpredictable. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
Local leaders here in Thunder Bay are reacting to the return of Donald Trump. Federal MP Marcus Pulowski and Chamber of Commerce President Charlotte Robinson both say they're concerned about Trump's protectionist policies and what that could mean for exporters in this region. But Pulowski is confident the Trudeau government can work with Trump, just as they did during his previous 4-year term.
It's a different world today, but the United States is our biggest trading partner. They are our biggest allies, and we will continue to have a good relationship with the United States, with the Trump administration. Our government has some experience with that. Our government was in power under the previous Trump administration, and I think it managed to get a fair bit done. But let's give Donald Trump the chance. Let's give the Americans the chance. And let's work together.
There's a lot of uncertainty as to what having President Trump return to the White House will mean for Canada. I've read a number of reports that are concerned about some of the things that he's talked about during the campaign around increasing tariffs and becoming really more protectionist, not wanting to work with other countries, not seeing Canada as a partner, but more as a competitor, and certainly concerned about what this could do locally for our forestry sector.
Donald Trump's election victory is also a hot topic among local residents. He was a polarizing figure the last time he held office, and that's unlikely to change. We went down to Marina Park this afternoon to ask people what they think about Trump's return to the White House.
Yeah, initial reactions to the re-election of Donald Trump.
I'm utterly depressed and absolutely terrified.
And why is that?
Well, I'm terrified for what's going to happen to Gaza, to the Ukraine, and to Cuba. I'm terrified for Americans. I'm terrified for basically all the women, all the non-heterosexuals, all the people of color. I'm just appalled.
I think that the Democrats got what they deserved. I mean, they went after the guy for 8 years, made up some things. I mean, the guy does have diarrhea of the mouth a lot, but I mean, he did have some good policies and stuff. So, but the country has spoken.
So last time he got in, it was against a female, and this time it's against a female. I kind of wanted her to have a chance. Yeah, because she's a very smart lady.
I think Canada will be affected because I think his relationships with us will not be so good.
Do you think that Trump being elected is going to affect how you vote in Canada, or?
I already knew how I was voting in Canada. I think it's going to affect how a lot of people vote in Canada, and I think it's probably not going to be for the good of the people.
Premier Doug Ford has publicly congratulated Trump on his big win.
The Premier says maintaining and building upon Ontario's economic partnership with the U.S. is critical for people on both sides of the border. Here's CTV's Siobhan Morris.
The Premier has offered his congratulations to President-elect Donald Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance. Doug Ford has talked a lot in the last few weeks about the importance of this U.S. election to Ontario and about the efforts his government's been making to strengthen bonds, including yesterday at a fireside chat in Ottawa.
It's all about relationships. That's what it's about.
Today, in a statement, the Premier writes, millions of workers on both sides of the border are counting on our governments to maintain and build our economic partnership, pursuing shared opportunities in manufacturing, energy, and critical mineral development. Ford's been trying to guard against protectionist policies, urging American political leaders to adopt a buy Canadian and American policy. He writes today, I'm optimistic about the opportunities that lie ahead for more trade and cooperation between Ontario and the United States. There has been a lot of anxiety about a potential Trump presidency because of threats on tariffs on all imports. The Premier seems to think that's where relationships can be a difference maker.
It doesn't matter if you're the president, the premier, the prime minister. When you have your governor screaming at you, when you have your Congress people screaming at you, and your senators screaming at you, saying, hey, we can't ship to Canada without being tariffed. I believe in free trade, but fair trade.
The province needs its relationship with the U.S. to be strong, especially when it comes to auto manufacturing. That's a segment of the economy the government's invested a lot of money in the last few years. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Still at the provincial legislature, the NDP advocated for wildland firefighters at Queen's Park today.
Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Lise Vaugeois wants to see forest fighters represented in the province's latest Working for Workers Act. Justin Hardy has the details.
The Ontario NDP are demanding answers from the provincial government on the safety and rights of wildland firefighters under Bill 190, the latest Working for Workers Act. The NDP are pushing to reclassify Ontario's wildland firefighters and to push for the same cancer coverage, according to Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Lise Vaugeois during a news conference held before question period.
We are leaving these workers without the supports, the respect, the financial protection through WSIB supports, and the emotional support that says, yes, you matter, and we are going to cover you. We have your backs. The government has not done this. In fact, they've broken their word.
Currently, wildland firefighters need to work for double the number of years as municipal firefighters to qualify for cancer coverage, according to Noah Friedman, a fire crew leader and vice president of OPSU Local 703.
Even though wildland firefighters are exposed to a decade worth of carcinogenic smoke in a single busy fire season, a 6-month fire season only counts as a half year of service under the legislation. Therefore, in order to qualify for cancer coverage, which requires 15 years of service, a wildland firefighter would have to work for 30 fire seasons.
Friedman adds that the government claimed at committee last month that the WSIB will recognize each fire season as a year of service, but voted against the NDP's amendment to include that wording in the legislation. Vaugeois asked the government why, and parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Labour responded by saying that wildland firefighters are on the same presumptive WSIB coverage for occupational cancers and heart injuries. Fellow NDP member Guy Bourgoin then pushed the Natural Resources Minister on the reclarification of wildland firefighters.
To get them the protection and the pay they deserve. And yet, now he says that only the Treasury Board Minister has the power to make these changes. Speaker, these wildland firefighters don't need excuses. They need protection and results. Minister, will you uphold your commitment to reclassify these workers and make a single fire season count as a full year of service as they deserve?
As the organizational review of firefighter classification by the OPS is underway, it'd be inappropriate to comment further, but we have heard comments from the PA and Labour this morning on the expanded coverage piece.
Bill 190, the Working for Workers 5 Act, received royal assent at the end of October. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
A 55-year-old man faces child pornography charges after he turned himself in to Thunder Bay Police this morning. Manuel Joaquim is accused of accessing and possessing child pornography. Officers searched a home last month and seized multiple electronic devices. Joaquim appeared in court today and remains in custody.
A 31-year-old Thunder Bay man is also charged with possessing and accessing child pornography. Austin Roulette was arrested yesterday after police seized an electronic device from another home last month. Roulette remains in custody after a court appearance yesterday.
Thunder Bay Police Chief Darcy Fleury met with local Pride Group members again last night to discuss safety and rising hate incidents against the 2S LGBTQIA+ community. This was the second open discussion between Fleury and the Pride community this year, following a similar gathering in April. Rainbow Collective co-founder Jason Veltri says they've experienced numerous threats this past year, including against drag storytime events at local libraries. Fortunately, the Pride Parade in June went off without incident, and city police officers were there to provide security. Both Veltri and Fleury say these meetings are part of a concerted effort to improve relations and ensure police are responding appropriately to calls regarding potential hate crimes against the Pride community.
Some of the audience presented us with some cases where maybe we didn't provide the service that they were expecting. So that's just a review on our part, saying, okay, what is the situation, where are the calls, and just a review of what we have done in some of those cases. So we reached back out to them and said, okay, let us understand what was going on. So we, it's really important of trying to build that trust that when we respond to a case that they bring forward, that we're doing it right and we're providing the service and making sure that they have the information they need for a final resolution. So that's one of the things that we got out of it tonight, a little bit more work in those areas.
Yeah, look, I'm very hopeful. I wouldn't be at the table if I didn't think that the police service could get better. We've seen strides. I think that this is one part of the puzzle piece of building bridges with community. This chief has been steadfast since he assumed the role of holding space with community to hear from them. That's going to continue. So, we're going to continue to be at the table with them to ensure that we're holding them accountable, but also doing the meaningful work to help them improve.
Accounting firm Doane Grant Thornton hosted a local forum today called Vibrant Communities.
It's meant to allow community members to brainstorm ways to make Thunder Bay a better place. Jaden Billick reports.
A broad spectrum of community members, owners of privately held businesses, not-for-profit organizations, and larger institutions participated in this event, which took months of planning. Fort William Historical Park, hosting the Vibrant Communities gathering, focused on making Thunder Bay a better place to live and the things that must be addressed before moving forward. Partner with Doane Grant Thornton in Thunder Bay, Rosie Breezy says, participants were first asked of bold visions of what a perfect Thunder Bay could look like in 2030.
And we're going to take those bold visions and we're going to try to drill down and get some actions and ideas to move forward that each of us can take away and move forward in the community to help perhaps spur some of that on and see us reach our goals and our ambitions for 2030.
CEO of the Regional Health Sciences Foundation, Glenn Craig, wants to tap into the potential of a vibrant and more diverse Thunder Bay. But in order to bring these ideas into fruition, Craig says they want to make sure they're raising funds to improve and advance healthcare and increasing job potentials for our community.
So things like the cardiac surgery program, which is on the horizon, hugely important to bring cardiac surgery to Thunder Bay so people don't have to leave our community to get healthcare. But it's also important from an economic development point of view. There'll be about 150 new jobs created with the expansion of this program. So that's like bringing a medium to large size business at Thunder Bay.
As our city does have numerous dynamic cultural activities and innovative community initiatives, it's important to recognize any shortcomings and look for strategies and opportunities for growth within those challenges. Chamber of Commerce President Charlotte Robinson says she's very happy to share the business community's view of how they can be part of building a better tomorrow.
We've got a really supportive community when it comes to supporting local businesses, right? People like to shop local, they like to support entrepreneurs as they're building their dreams, and that really makes, from a business perspective, it makes a great place to start a business and to keep a business going, because those relationships, grow and get very strong when you know the people who own the business.
Officials here say it was a very humbling feeling seeing these community members' passion of seeing our city thrive, and can't wait to see what comes out of this event. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
With the future of the Moose Lodge still in doubt, the Thunder Bay Pickleball Club has managed to find another large new indoor venue for its members to use on weekdays. The pickleballers had been using the Moose Hall on Fort William Road for many years, but the facility abruptly closed in mid-October. Many of the players are members of both the club and the lodge. A closed-door meeting this week revealed the closure was mainly due to a legal issue and that the hall may reopen in 2 weeks. Despite that, the Pickleball Club went searching for another location and will now use the old PACI gymnasium. Club President Jacob Krawchuk says the gym can fit up to 6 pickleball courts. Finding a place to play is a big relief to his members.
Pickleball players really want to play. And if they're fit, and most of them are, they want to play a lot. And so, you have this strong community, especially the Moose player base is largely senior based, which, obviously makes up a big chunk of the Thunder Bay Pickleball Club membership too. So meeting their needs is very important to us. So this was a high priority that we've been working on for the last month.
The pickleballers also use school gyms after hours, but the PACI location is ideal for those who want to play in the mornings and early afternoons.